If you'd like to sponsor Still Got Game, give us a call at 773-527-2961 or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still Got Game, episode 516. Still Got Game's official podcast at tooltoplay.com. I am, as always, Derek G. Smooth Nolan.
I'm Chris Selden, 007 Selden.
I am Brian Shadow Emmerich.
And we've all obviously done a shitload of cocaine before this episode.
Speak for yourself there.
Yeah, Brian did the most. All right. He's just trying to find his mellow buzz right now. Yes. So we're back. And so far, we're looking pretty good for a January. We've had three episodes. 3 episodes out of 4 weeks. Selden said 3. I'll take his word for it.
I think this is our 3rd episode this month, I think.
I think it's 2, but it could be. If it's, I'll take 3.
Yeah,
3, I'll take 3.
So we'll say 3. So we're on a good pace. Like there are some things coming up. Like there's a week in February where I have a cruise and I'm not going to be around. And then there's a week in March where I'm going to be down playing golf with my dad in a golf tournament for a week. So I won't be here for that. But April, I am all about the April. And then May, I'm pretty sure I'm all about the May. No, I have my daughter's graduation 1 week, so I'm not sure. But June, we have another cruise.
Let's not promise too far ahead.
Yeah. Like, let's just pretend that we'll go week by week. Yes.
Yeah, maybe next week we'll talk about next week.
Yeah. If there is a next week, so yes. But we're here now, and that's all that matters. And it's thanks to Selden and Shadow to keep me in line. So yeah. Thanks, guys. All right, well, let's just jump right in the show proper. And if you're in chat right now, you want to put something out there for us to talk about, drop it in and let us know, and we'll go from there. We'll start off with the mailbag for feedback and questions from our last episode, which technically was last week. So, yes. We're off to a killer start. All right, Better Call Paul comments. Thanks for the PAX East advice. We're coming up from Rhode Island on Thursday. Hotel prices were absolutely crazy, so we may end up heading home that night. Hopefully, we cross paths. Now, I thought it said, hopefully we don't cross paths. I was like, what the fuck's this? And, so hopefully we cross paths. Yeah, I hope I cross paths with you too.
And Derek's a generous host. Maybe he'll let you sleep in his hotel room.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Volunteering Derek's hotel room for him.
So we do stay in Boston for this, but you may be better off, like, if you don't want to go all the way back to Rhode Island, just look outside of the city. Like, within the city, the prices get insane during PAX East. The Westin was up at like $700 or $800 a night, which is the hotel that's connected to the convention center. If you go a little further out in Boston, you can get down to like the $300 a night price. Or if you go outside the city, you can get down to like a couple $100. That might be your best bet if you don't want to drive all the way back. But yeah, absolutely. Shoot me a message on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, and I'll come meet up with you. But yeah, there's definitely reasonable places to stay. For you as like a fan coming in, you don't need a hotel that's right by the convention center to go in and make sure you make all your appointments and everything else. So yeah, I would just don't let those prices push you off. Just there's plenty of places in the Boston area that you can stay for a lot less. So
cool.
All right.
Good luck. Have fun.
Yes. Good luck. Next up, Dragon Forge 89 asks, when do you think we'll see that next generation digital Xbox Series X you guys mentioned? My son's birthday is in June, and I don't want to buy the wrong thing at this time.
If it's coming out closer to the holiday season. It's not going to be out by
That's what I would have
June.
guessed too, Selden. Yeah.
Just because that's the cycle that they like to hit. That's when the sales really bump up for people looking for a console, and the new hot thing at that point would be, at that point the digital coming out. So, yeah, I would say probably this holiday season, or at latest the next holiday season. So,
I have a little bit different opinion. It could be that,
Oh.
but also, even though there's no E3, Microsoft does have their own things in June. They've been known to say, "Hey, this is coming out and it's
It's
available
available
today."
now. Yes. Yeah.
And so that's possible as well. I would say it's either going to be June or it's going to be like November. Before I would say, because the Switch 2's rumored to come out this holiday, they may want to beat them to the punch to get something new out. So people might buy that first. I don't know. I mean, it's not the same audience necessarily, the people that are getting Switches and Xboxes, but I think because it seems like what's going to happen, to, in my opinion, only is that the digital Xbox Series X is going to kind of replace the Series S in the kind of middle ground, and they're going to still have the disc one around for a while for people who still want discs, but it's sort of going to be in that middle range where that's going to become the console because they want to start going all digital. So they'll still have the one with the disc drive for people who want that, but otherwise, yeah, if you have discs, and I have a console for you. It's called the Xbox Series X with the disc. But otherwise, it's probably just going to be the only console because I think it's been sort of a confusion thing with people with the Series S, Series X, and I think they want to kind of consolidate, so they're only going to have that one. So that might just be like, hey, it's here's our presentation in June, and it's available next week or something, and or it could be the holiday. So I guess
you don't think do an announcement and say pre-sale start now for holiday season?
That's
it's going to be one of the two, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yep.
So we'll see. But
I mean, does a mid-cycle console release really require a pre-order though?
No.
I mean, what did they do with the Xbox One X?
Because that One X was available. Like we ordered ours at E3 in the middle of the press conference. So,
but when did it come out though? It wasn't like the next week, was it?
No, it was November. They stuck with their November.
So they might still do that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I would say your son's birthday is in June. Well, it's not going to be before June.
No, no, it certainly won't be. Yes,
it's either going to be like right at his birthday, or it's going to be closer to the holidays. So you may just want to like wait and see.
Yeah, maybe pick a different present for the birthday and then wait for Christmas. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't go wrong with the regular Series X though. I'm like, the only thing you're trading off really is the disk drive for the additional internal storage, right? So
I mean, I think
power utilization and a couple other things that kids don't give a shit about. Like,
right.
Not like, this is using so much of my parents' power.
Right. But it's not a generational jump in graphics or processing speeds or anything like that. It's just some of the benefits that they're touting are the lack of the drive and the increase of internal storage and processing of, energy consumptions and stuff like that. So I don't think you're missing out on getting the, Series X. You're not going to. Your kid's not going to hate you for not getting the all digital one 2 months, 3 months later.
No, if you want to wait for that, though, by all means, give him a different present for his birthday and wait till Christmas. So
yeah, or depending when his birthday is, if it's after the Xbox thing, you'll know.
Yeah.
So
just wait and play it by ear at the last minute. See what happens.
Yeah, for sure.
Or just get him a Game Pass subscription and a backbone and let him play on his phone for a few months till the digital one comes out.
That's another bizarre option, but yes,
Also true, Xbox Cloud.
Yep. All right. Cool. Popcorn Commando asks, what has been your favorite game of the 2020s so far? There is so much power in this generation of consoles, but I still feel like there is more that can be pulled from them. I do still feel like we're pretty early on in the no one figures out how to glean the full power of the consoles until nearly the next generation. Because these came out in November of 2020. It's not even November of 2024, so it's been 3+ years. You don't want to know my favorite game because it was Vampire Survivors and it didn't take advantage of anything of this console. So I'll leave this to you guys. Yeah.
Well, no, it took advantage of the amount of
Oh, the possible bullets and
possible
shit that
things
could be on
moving
the
and
screen.
shit on the
Yeah, yeah.
screen.
Okay,
Like,
yeah, I'll
it
agree
was
with
probably
that.
one
Yeah.
of the most intense type of games like that. I've never seen something move that many things at the same time.
Okay, I'll go with that. So yeah, mine was Vampire Survivors. Exactly what everyone thinks about is the flagship title of this generation. But
Sure, Jan. I like it, but
Yeah, I mean, as of right now, the game that I probably put the most time in, maybe Starfield.
oh, I thought you were going to go with DMZ.
Oh well, I did put a lot of DMZ, but it's not a console defining generation game. It was just that's the style of game I currently like, is the extraction shooter. So with the missions embedded into it, so I did like it, but I wouldn't say that's one of my favorite game for the 2020 so far.
Fair enough.
yeah, that's tough. I mean, I can say a few of the ones that I really liked so far, but I'm trying to think past like 2020, right? So, I mean, definitely Alan Wake 2.
I knew you were
Elden
gonna go
Ring.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Elden Ring. Elden Ring.
Elden Ring. I forgot about that.
God,
Yeah, that's both of you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. Yeah.
But even smaller, but also Psychonauts 2 is great. I really like that. I had a lot of fun with that one. Also smaller games like Tunic. Tunic was really good. So stuff where it's not like it has to take full advantage of the new systems that just happened to be after the 2020s. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Zelda was fucking phenomenal too.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
When
Zelda's
did Zelda
great.
come out?
Well, that was, well, you were talking about the new one. But
yeah, the new one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You're talking about not the. Okay,
the 2017, I think, was
Tears of the Kingdom, or Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
No one knows anymore. Now we've broken.
It
this.
is. It's tears. You find, you
It's
collect
tears.
tears.
Yeah,
Yes.
but the original Zelda was long before the pandemic, right?
Yes, 2017.
Okay, yeah.
But I mean, I played so many old games that I forget when things actually came out. Like I'm going, when did Firewatch come out? Oh, that was 2016. That was definitely not 2020s. You know, so it's hard to know. It's hard to know for me, like what is after in my head. But definitely Elden Ring, definitely Alan Wake 2. But then also I'm trying to think of PS5, like the new God of War was really good. I also, there's a lot of games that I've started that I haven't finished yet that I know are really good. I just haven't.
Like Zelda with Starfield. There was the Harry Potter game that was huge. I'm just trying to spitball things out there in case you guys are.
That was really good.
Yeah.
And I'm glad there's some DLC coming for that because I enjoyed it a lot.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know. Just trying to think, like Spider-Man. The Spider-Man game is really good. The new one, and the second one was also awesome. Horizon, the new Horizon, I think that was after 2020.
The VR one?
The Horizon Forbidden West.
Okay.
That was great.
The Horizon VR game was pretty good.
Yeah, I played that.
Like there's just so much shit that came out. Like even I will go Astro's Playroom is like
great.
One of the best games I've played since 2000. Like I played that entire game. It was like an old school platformer. It was fun. It used all the shit in the PlayStation controller, that like the speakers and the blowing on the controller and this and that. Like that was a brilliant game that I feel like has been overlooked by a bunch of people. Like people just are like, no, that just came with the console. I'm going to play my game. But it was really fantastic. Like I'm just. Yeah. What else? Not Halo. I mean,
well, I really like Halo Infinite a lot, but it needed more maps, and now it's getting those. So, but then there's games where like it doesn't really count, but it sort of does, like Kentucky Route Zero. I love that game. It came out in episodes over a lot of years, and the final one came out like 2 years ago. So then they put out a whole collection of all of them together. So I guess that sort of
Okay,
counts
yeah,
because the
yeah, that
latest one
sort of
came out.
counts. Yeah, yeah.
I really love that game. If you like just kind of story driven games that are not no combat, I'm gonna check that out. So yeah, it's all I got off the top of my head, but I'm sure there's tons more.
Yeah, no, I'm just throwing off the top of my head too, which is like I also think back to the FIFA game that included the Ted Lasso team. Like I enjoyed that. Like I've never played a FIFA game and liked it until that. Yeah, it's and I've played some WWE games now and I like those too. But like, yeah, no, for me it's just Vampire Survivors. Yeah.
All
You know.
right. I mean, there's tons of great Switch games that you've probably never touched, so there's
No, I
stuff
didn't even
like
touch
that
my
too.
Switch. Why would I touch a
Yeah,
game? Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Yes, yeah.
No, so
All right.
I still need to start Mario RPG. Damn, I need to do that.
All right. Great question, Popcorn Commando. And then Altius asks, what are your thoughts on the Microsoft layoffs of 1,900 employees at Xbox and Activision Blizzard? Another sign that this acquisition may have been the wrong move. So, first off, Altius, you were a fucking naysayer on this. Like, last week you were like, what else could we find wrong with this? And now you're like, yeah, they laid off 1,900 people.
Yeah, we're just talking about that.
Yeah, you know what? I don't see it as a sign of the wrong acquisition. I don't think this has. I mean, yes, it has something to do with the acquisition. Obviously, there was going to be layoffs. It always happens, and
Lot of
somebody buys them.
redundancies.
But
Yeah.
and honestly, like everybody in the industry, you look around and everybody's laying people off. It's not just them. It just happens that this happens to be right after they took over a company, which happens all the time anyway. So I don't think it's a sign of anything bad going on with the acquisition. I just think it's the world that we're in right now. And game developers and programmers and all those guys, they're living in a shitstorm right now and hoping to hold on to the last remnants of their house before they get blown away with what's going on right now. So
no, I agree. And we lost Mikey Ybarra as part of this from Xbox. Like,
Yeah.
he was a staple of Xbox, and he's gone now. So it's not like it didn't affect people that were like well established in Xbox. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't think this had to do with the acquisition. I just think it has to do with like an industry wide like reset that's going on right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of places overhired during COVID, and they had a lot of people who were working remote, so they could just hire also all over the place. And now they're starting to bring people back in the office, and they don't have enough office space for everybody. They may not need everybody. There's a lot of redundancies, especially with I think it does have to do with mergers somewhat because you're gonna have people who have the same job, and you just have we don't need both, so some have to go. I noticed this is kind of across the board, but it also is really hard hit on the physical distribution, like discs section of Xbox, and I think that's probably due to the fact they're going to be going mostly digital, so they don't really need to be developing for that part anymore as much. So that's just a strategy and cutting costs where you can, I guess. So it's unfortunate, but hopefully they reset enough where this won't happen again.
No,
Soon.
yeah, it's not good news, but I don't really think this has anything to do with the acquisition, with the exception of the redundancy.
Typical corporate layoff type of scenario. So.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Mike Ybarra, that sucks. I mean, he was Activision though, right? Like he was the president of Activision or something at the time, or some part of Activision.
No, he was
Wasn't he?
Microsoft guy. Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was like the. Oh, okay.
No,
I must be thinking of somebody
Microsoft
else.
true and true. Yeah, he was
Gotcha.
from way back. He worked with Larry and worked.
I thought at some point he moved over to Activision.
Talk about that. Has Larry surfaced yet? Is he doing anything yet again?
Yeah, Larry's in another company. He's one of the top 3 over there. If you follow him on LinkedIn, you'll see what he's up to. But yeah.
Didn't Don Matrick go over to like Zynga or something, and then now he's gone from there too?
Yeah. People are everywhere. Like, look at Peter Moore. Peter Moore is now like global soccer. Like he does whatever that team that he runs is, and he's kicked ass. And yeah, the whole industry is bizarre, to say the least.
Yeah.
People want to be in the industry until they're not, and then they like being outside of the industry when they are. So yeah.
Grass is always greener.
Yeah, and like I tell everyone, like when I hear people, they're like, "Oh, you know video games?" Like, I'm a software engineer. I was like, "Don't ever work in video games. Work for a real company in software engineering. You will do so much better than the basic gig economy that is video games." So
Yeah, I think unfortunately people just get hired for just projects them as like
then they get
almost
laid
like a temp
off,
job,
and then they
get
bring
laid
those
off.
same people back on, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
an endless cycle. So yeah, if you want a real job in computer science, go to a real computer science company. Yes. Yeah. All right. Well, great questions, great feedback. If you have any feedback, give us a call 773-527-2961 or email us at podcast@tooledtoplay.com. And on that, why don't we hop on over to what we're playing? Selden, what have you been playing this week?
I have fallen so far into the world of Pal World. I've probably spent an obscene amount of hours playing that stupid game. It's not stupid. It's actually a very entertaining game. They've done a really good job with it. I like the different genres and games that they've brought into this game. You could definitely see the influences from other games in this game,
like Pokemon.
Like Pokemon, a little Ark, a little,
Yeah,
There's
Pokemon
definitely
and Ark, those two.
Pokemon and Ark, a little bit of Zelda you can feel in there too. So it's like
Pokemon
and Pokemon
and Ark.
and Ark. Yeah. But it's a very entertaining game. And the world is huge. I was like today I was just trying to explore the map. I was able to finally get up to the point where I got a decently speed flying PAL that I was able to fly around, and the fucking map is absolutely huge. So there's so much to do. There's so much out there to do. Some of the areas of the world are a little bit empty of things right now, but I'm sure with updates that'll come, you'll start to see more stuff out there. But there's a lot of depth to it outside of just the catch the guys and build a base. So
I'm sure there are. Yeah.
And the boss battles are fucking tough. The boss battles are a real challenge. So
that's what
not
Shadow and I were talking about
not saying
tonight. We were
not saying Souls like, but they're definitely not easy battles to fight. So
so you're balls
I'm
deep
enjoying
in
this. I'm balls deep in this. The only other thing I've been playing is I've been on the Meta Quest 3. I've been playing a little PokeStars VR Vegas Infinite, playing some sit and go tournaments while we're. And it's great because the pass through, you can I can sit on the couch while we're watching like whose line is it anyways. And I could put on pass through, so the table just floats in front of me. The players are on the table, but I can still see the world around me.
Oh, I'm sure Bard loves this. Yeah, she loves just sitting next to you while you're not paying attention to what you're doing together.
I am paying attention. I am paying attention. I'm holding conversations with her and everything. It's great.
Yeah. You're like, all in. Yes.
All of a sudden, you just like accidentally punch her in the face next to you. Like, oh, sorry, I just grabbed something over here.
No, the pass through is perfect because I could see my entire living room
around
me.
Yeah.
So like I'm not locked into the VR world. It's what AR is, augmented reality.
It's how much you want to give to the real room versus the fake room.
Right. Yes. I mean, I could turn on total VR, so I'm in like a casino somewhere, or I could turn it to the pass through, so I have my real room around me with the table.
But even then, you get excited and you're like, all in. And then that's when you accidentally hit like a kid or your wife or someone with your hands. All in. Yes.
But it's also good because a lot of the movement games in the VR, I get a little motion sick after half hour, 45 minutes. But like with this, you're just sitting at a poker table, so you're not really moving much.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's really well done. I definitely highly recommend if you want to play some poker and stay connected to the real world, you can do that through that game. So
pretend you're hanging out with your family.
Nice,
nice.
Oh, wow.
All right, Shadow. How about you?
So other than I did jump into Selden's Pal World for just a minute. He wasn't there, I don't think. To just try it out, and it was only for like 15-20 minutes. So I got a couple of little check boxes done on the first list of things you need to do, and then I got out. But
I
it
looked for
was,
some kind of remnants of you, and I didn't see any kind of
no,
structures or anything laying around. So
no,
you
I
weren't there
didn't.
long at all.
I didn't know what I was doing, so I was like, I'm gonna go watch a movie or something. But otherwise, yeah, I've just been catching up on movies and TV and stuff this past week, and haven't really played much. I went to a show, I went to a concert, saw Everclear play
Ah.
looky, which was fun.
Very nice.
And
We could live
otherwise, I
beside
had
the ocean.
exactly.
Yes, yeah.
So and kid stuff and whatever. So I've just been watching some movies, catching up on stuff. So not much
Nice.
game for me this week, but I've been reading the news, so we'll catch up on it here. How about you, Derek?
I didn't really play anything this week. The only thing I've done is on my phone, which is shitty Monopoly Go, and I'm pretty much almost done with this game, I think. Like it's starting to piss me off. Like you can see that it's not really a truly random game. And
No.
and like I said, any game that the default DLC that it pitches you is $99 is just fucked up.
Well, first off, I think you're the only one that's getting the default 99. I'm only getting like $4.99. So
They know you're a whale.
They know you're a whale.
No. So yeah.
I basically said the same thing. I think after this season, the sticker season is up.
If
I'm
I don't
probably
finish
gonna be
the
done after
sticker
this
thing and get my 5,000 dice, I'm done. I think
Right.
so. Yeah.
Other
Than that, I got nothing. But hopefully next week I'll get into something. Like I know Tiff's been playing the Avatar game. She's been playing all kinds of shit. So yeah, unfortunately she's not on the show, so I'll have to talk to her. I love the Avatar game. It's awesome. But really, I don't think she loves it because it's very repetitive and like they send her on these shit quests and then they're hard to like you have to really focus like your cursor on this one little thing to like lock it in to do your job and that pisses her off too. So yeah, the Avatar game blows, I think is what I can say, even though I've never played it. So
I thought I heard it's like kind of like Far Cry, possibly.
it is kind of like a Far Cry meets the Harry Potter game, if you will. It's kind of like a mix between the two. So yeah, very annoying. You die a lot, you repeat, and you go back and you try it again. So yeah, I have no interest in it, but yeah, she's sort of loving it or just not hating it. So yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, on that, why don't we move on to new releases? First new release out this week is Rugby 24, out for the Xbox, the PlayStation, the PC. No one even knows what rugby games are.
Rugby.
These,
Yes.
I hope it has rugby sevens as well as full rugby.
the company that makes this game doesn't even list this game on their own website. I had
List
to
of rugby
link.
union video games.
I had to link to Wikipedia's list of rugby union games because these guys, like, this was delayed from September till now. It is coming out like on February 2nd, but how fucked up is that it's not even on their own website? Yeah. So I think none of us have any interest in this, right?
I don't know. I've never played a rugby game. Maybe this will be the time to jump in.
All right, Selden's in. So Selden will report back next week.
Is this like on EA? Is this going to be like I get 24
No, it's not
48
EA.
hours?
This is not EA. This is Nacon is the one that makes this. Like, they don't make anything cool. They make all the loser games. Hence, like, actually, when you go to their website and you search up rugby, the link brings you to Rugby 2022. There was a 2023 rugby that they don't even link to. So yeah.
It's just tax write-offs now.
Exactly. So, Selden, tell us how Rugby 24 is next week.
I'm going to have to search it out, see if I can actually find it on the game store.
I'm sure you can find it to buy it. You just can't find it to learn about it. Yes.
Speaking of rugby, I went back and I watched that movie you mentioned, the Society of the Snow. On
yes,
rugby
yeah,
players in '70. and it was good. I ended up I don't usually do this, but I ended up watching it dubbed instead of the subtitles.
Oh,
It was
okay.
actually dubbed pretty well, and it was good. I would definitely recommend it. So, but they're rugby players, so that's rugby
No,
related,
that's a
right?
good connection here. Yeah, because
Yeah,
I haven't watched that yet either, but I heard it was amazing. So
yeah, it's really good.
now that I have your statement as well, but don't do the subs, do the dub.
I mean, depends what you feel like. I don't usually do subs, but I just was in the mood to try it, and it was actually pretty good. Usually, dubs are hit or miss. I don't
Yeah,
usually do them,
exactly.
but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was I was sort of doing something else as I was watching it. And it's a really long movie, so I decided to go for it, and I recommend it. It was pretty good, dubbed.
Maybe I'll give it a shot then.
Yeah,
Thanks.
no problem.
Next new release out this week is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink out for the PlayStation, the PC. This is one of those weird ass RPGs out of Japan. No one really knows what's going on. Nobody
Is it like
understands.
Blaze Blue or
It's
what
like a
is?
Blaze Blue. Yes, yeah, yeah.
Okay, all
Yep,
right,
yep. Uh,
gotcha.
yeah, this isn't my kind of cup of tea at all. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's some people it might be, so it's listed. So hey,
Mm.
this is available if you like those games.
Yeah, jump on it. Yes. All right.
And the same with the next one, probably.
Yeah, next one is Persona 3 Reload out for the Xbox, the PlayStation, the PC. So if you're into the Persona games like Persona whatever, and like there was
Persona
like
1
five
or
Persona
Persona
games that
2
came
or
out in like the
Persona
last
3
month or two. Yeah.
Persona 4 or
Yeah,
Persona 5.
Yeah. If
Or
you're into these, this is for you. Yes, yeah.
I mean, it's the problem with the genre is that they make these games and then they rehash them or reload them or remake them like 17 times
Well,
and re-release it.
Ultra Remix. Yes, yeah.
This one was
But-
a PSP game, I think, so that's why they did
Hmm.
this.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So
I mean,
it
I
really-
do like the Persona series. I played a few of them, but it's not it's a time killer between games. It's not something I look forward to, complete. I just look to
Now, Selden has on his calendar on his wall, he's like, Persona 3 Reload. And then he like counts down the days.
He
until it
puts a
comes
heart
out.
around it.
Yep. And
'Cause
now
that's
that
what it is. It's all like relationships, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
so
Yep.
now that we've hit that date, Selden's like, guys, I might miss the show next week. I got shit to do.
I just don't, I've been always a little interested in these games, but then someone's like, well, they take like 100 hours to play because there's like all these relationships and
yeah.
to like
Yeah.
finish it all. It's such a long game. I'm like, okay, I don't
There's
know.
very
Yeah,
little
I don't
actual
wanna do
game, very little actual gameplay, mostly relationship building.
Yep.
Yeah. So maybe not.
Fair
We'll
enough.
see.
But some people will like it.
Some people will.
And last but not least, we have Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League out for the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the PC. Now, this game has some hype. It's getting TV commercials. It's advertised everywhere. And
Is it?
based on Shadow's head movements, I don't think he gives a shit about this.
It's well, I don't, but also
It's
It's,
way to fix that.
what I've heard is, and I don't think we get pre-release stuff too often. What I've heard is they're holding back all their codes. Like they're not giving any of the companies a pre-release code to check it out
now,
to
which is
pre-review it.
always a questionable move. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I think
They're not
their word
actually
is-
using the voices of the actors. That's going to put Derek right off.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
But I think that the word is that it's probably be pretty bad, so that's probably why. But I guess we'll see.
Could be.
I would say wait for the actual reviews before you buy it.
I thought the TV commercials looked great, but yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But then again, we haven't played the game, so.
True.
All right. All right. Well, then
All right.
that wraps up new releases. So on that, why don't we hop on over to gaming news? First story. Suicide Squad Killed the Justice League pulled offline after a bizarre game-beating bug. So this is having to do with the fact that we have, like, this game doesn't come out until February 2nd here in the US, but in New Zealand, it's already out. And
Oh.
there was some bizarre bug where 3 minutes into the game, you completed all of the stories and the tasks in the game, even though you didn't do anything, and then you got end credits. So that's a pretty terrible bug.
Yeah.
Or a really
Next-
good bug if you want to really finish it fast.
Okay, but maybe you missed like a million achievements in between. You got
That's true.
the end achievements, but you didn't get
That's right.
everything that came through that.
Like looking at your achievement list, this is weird. I got finished it, but that's it. Nothing else.
Yes.
the speedrunner community is fighting over mega milliseconds at this point.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So they pulled it off and brought it back so they can figure this out. And I guess it's probably positive that it was only in one country at this time, because if this had dropped everywhere, this would have been a major story. And it kind of still is, but it just goes to show, like, how the fuck do we get to a point where we release a game that no one notices this? Like, I just don't understand that. Like, a single playthrough would have been like, oh yeah, this shit's fucked. So yeah,
It's a lot. I think a lot of attention detail is being skipped over these days just to get stuff out. To meet the deadlines. It has to be out by this date, so let's just push it through, and all that late crunch stuff that everyone talks about. And it's not good. Need to test it more.
But yeah,
pay more people.
Imagine beating a game in 3 minutes. That's
like the Avatar Last Airbender.
Yeah, even that took longer. That took
5
longer.
minutes.
Yes. So
I don't think that was beating the game. That was just all the achievements, but still.
Yes. Yeah. So I look forward to seeing how well this relaunches on the 2nd. And some of those people in New Zealand, I feel bad for you. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, you'll play it again on the 2nd.
No, they probably will, because they didn't really waste that much time. So, yeah. All right, next story!
All right, I'll take the next one since my browser is freezing up a little bit for some fucking reason. Xbox Game Pass is getting a helpful new feature. Xbox is making it easier to keep track of changes in the Game Pass library. The Game Pass library, the UI it works. It definitely leaves a lot of room for improvement. It definitely could be better. One of the changes that they're making is they're bringing in a time that the title is leaving the Game Pass library. So you'll be able to track when you're getting close to the time that game is going to be automatically, removed from the marketplace or removed from the Game Pass. And it'll make it easier if you want to continue playing to purchase the game, which in all honesty, that's what they want to do with these games is if it leaves, like if Vampire Survivors left, I guarantee you'd see an uptick in the purchasing of those games. And if they make it easier.
I already bought it for the $3.99 when it was free on Game Pass. I was like, I just wanted to show them that I care.
Right.
Yeah.
But,
that's good.
So, I mean, it's good that they're making these changes, and it's good that they're not just sitting around on their laurels with what they have. Because, as I said, I mean, the interface could use, some love.
It's
and how
not
to navigate around
at
it.
all.
So,
You never know what's coming and going. Yeah.
And especially with the hundreds of games that are on there, it's like they're not categorized really well. Their suggested categories aren't really, laid out too smart. And sometimes you lose track of the games that you've been playing and stuff like that. So it's good that they're looking at features for that. And I think this one's going to be good because I've had a couple games leave that I was like, shit, I wanted to do a little bit more in there, but I guess I'm not. Or I have to pony up the money. So,
I mean, they have those on the dash. They have that little tile that's like, leaving Game Pass soon, and you can click on it, but it doesn't say like you have games that are leaving Game Pass. You have to look and see if any of them are, and usually it's like 5 or something, and maybe one of your games is, but it doesn't notify you. So if there was a way for it to say, what I would like is a notification, like a Microsoft message to you that like, oh, you've played this game within the last 5 days. It's leaving on X day. Make sure you finish it or buy it by that day. But yeah, if you could go to your Game Pass group of game or list of games, and then they all just have like a time limit on them, like when is this leaving? They don't always know, but if they do, that'd be great to have. I think
it'd be super
a great
nice,
idea.
Agreed.
I know that Netflix used to do that sort of thing, and then they stopped doing that
Yep. Leaving
because they didn't want you
soon.
to
Yes.
know that it was going to be leaving, because
Mhm.
they didn't want to seem like their perceived value was less. So, or you have like a list of, you used to have a Netflix list where like it would, they would be there, but then you couldn't play them, but there'd still be a list of them. And
Oh,
so then
that's
when they
right.
came back,
Yes,
they would
yes, yeah.
come back. But then they took that away, and then once it's off, it's just off your list, and you could never find it again,
Yep.
which I
Yep.
hated. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I think it's a good, definitely a good thing for this. So
No, I
they're just
agree.
making it better and better all the time, and I'm loving Game Pass
No,
so
they're
far.
doing a great job. So, all right. Next story.
Embracer cancels Eidos unannounced Deus Ex project lays off the staff. Eidos Montreal confirmed it was hit with layoffs. Nearly 100 workers were let go due to Embracer's restructure. This sucks. I really like Deus Ex, those games, and the last one wasn't quite as good as the first one they put out, the reboot they put out recently, but still, it was enjoyable. It just seems like they said, "Hey, they acquired Square Enix, Montreal, and Crystal Dynamics, and Eidos." Said they were going to go back to make Deus Ex and Tomb Raider like they were going to, and then they just let them
Then
all go.
shit went awry. Yep.
So Eidos's last game, Montreal's last game, will have been the Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy that came out, which
Yep.
I started to play, and it was pretty good, and it got good reviews. So it just seems weird. I mean, I know Deus Ex is a big game, and probably the next one would be even bigger.
Oh, it
So
would
maybe
have
that's
to be.
it.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe it's almost more of like a cyberpunk 2077
Yeah,
style.
I can see that. Yeah.
It would have been like that. So maybe they just couldn't afford it to develop it, unfortunately. But I wish somebody would be able to have that IP to do something with it, because it's a good IP and it's
Oh,
well known
absolutely. Yeah.
and it's pretty unique. I mean, the Cyberpunk sort of ate its lunch a little bit, but it's still pretty unique. So I enjoyed it, and this sucks. And just so you know, no more Deus Ex, at least for now, or
For
maybe
the
ever.
time being.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
yeah. Boo.
Boo.
All right, next
All
one.
right. Footage of canceled futuristic Call of Duty by former Guitar Hero devs leaked. So this was kind of like a Twitter leak where someone was like, whatever, here it is. And then the guys that actually worked on Guitar Heroes, like one of the big main studio heads was like, yeah, this was our thing. It was a pretty cool looking thing. They gave them a chance at taking a Call of Duty title, and they actually did a bunch of development work. They did at least 3 missions of a campaign. They did some multiplayer stuff, and obviously it didn't fit into the Activision time frame of like, here's our Treyarch title, here's this title, like that yearly cadence that they needed. So they pulled them back, but like, I thought it looked fantastic. I don't know. Did you guys see this?
I didn't see it. Like, how far? I mean, like, how far future is it? Like, Modern Warfare 3 was
Like, it was a space
semi-future.
thing. Like this started like you're in space and like you land on a space station. They're like, "Hey, astronaut, let's do this," and that's where your campaign starts.
So
I could have
Starfield?
definitely been into something like that.
Yeah, kind of like Starfield. Yes, yeah.
Not really, but I mean, wasn't Ghosts like that sort of, or was one of them around them like that?
Ghost
Like it
is
had
the one
space parts?
that stopped this from happening because Call of
Okay.
Duty Ghosts is the one that they released instead of this. Yeah.
I swear I remembered something that was like a futuristic that had space in it, but I could be wrong. Maybe it was just a small section of one of them.
Yeah,
I don't play them every
I
year.
don't remember that, but yeah. So kind of sad, but good to know that they didn't waste those developers and they had them working on something that then again they killed.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, who knows what it'll be like now that Microsoft owns them? I mean, the direction could go somewhere else, possibly. Because honestly, it seems like it's getting stale. I mean, it's been stale, but
It's been.
I know the Modern Warfare remakes brought some life back in,
but
but
even
now that those
by
are done,
definition is stale. Like
I know
like
it's like a remake.
we gave you the thing that you liked 10 years ago, yeah, like
More
it.
than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the problem with Call of Duty is they only have so many errors to pull from, and they've covered them all
multiple
en masse.
times. Yes. Yeah.
And
I mean, you
like,
go way back, it'd be like a medieval game. You wouldn't have guns, and can't do that. That's just Skyrim
That's chivalry. Or yeah,
or whatever. Yeah.
any of those games from back in the day. Yes, cannons and muskets. And, yeah.
Hang on, let me load my musket.
yeah, so future
Wait,
in space is
hang
the
on,
way to
hang
go.
on.
So maybe they'll revive this at some point.
So yeah, no, but good to see that the Guitar Hero guys were able to adapt and create a game despite it not coming out. So good on them. Yep. All right, next story.
All right, this may be done by the time you hear this, but the Xbox Series S is just $230 right now. It's down $70 from $300. Looks like they got some kind of good discounts going on, which is great. I mean, mid-season, mid-season, lifespan cycle.
Generation.
Yeah, generation. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you, bud. I got you.
The Series S is probably on its way out the door for most consumers, anyways. At this point, it was a nice in between when you didn't want to fully upgrade or you were just getting into the Xbox environment. But now with the all digital Xbox Series X coming out, hopefully in the near future, I think we'll probably see a little less of the Series S. So a price cut on this is actually a pretty good deal to try to move some of these out the doors in time to really build up towards the next mid-generation creation. So what do you think?
Yeah, I like this is a great deal. Like we've bought so many Series S's for the kids. Like it's a good college console. It's a good spare like guest room console. But as we
even
saw
just
from
a streaming box.
As we saw from Baldur's Gate, like they're like, no, we're not gonna do our full thing on that. We'll back off of our resolution promise and our compatibility promise. So its time is limited, but for $230, like, come on, like that's a steal.
Like the pro controllers, the elite controllers are almost as expensive as this whole system. So.
Yes, and those things break after like 2 months. So yeah.
I mean, for a 512 gig version, 230, it's a pretty good deal, and you can always add like an external drive for old games to add more space. You can get the extra like terabyte slot drive too, but that's kind of expensive. If you're gonna do the 230, you might as well just do the like a 1 terabyte one. But
like old
it's great
school.
you could also go you can do the dev mode and add in some other stuff too if you want to. They're okay with that, so sort of use it as like an emulator box if you want to.
Yeah.
I mean, or if you're a traveler, this is your game case buy-in right here. You get this.
That's what's in my games case. Yes, I carry this.
Buy a
around.
Series S and throw it in.
Yeah, it's the lightest that my games case has ever been, because my games case started out during the Xbox. Not even 360. It was during the Xbox days. No, it had to be during the 360 days.
It had to be 360.
Yeah. And it just got heavier and heavier and heavier. And then once this thing is in there, now it's like super light. You pick it up. Like sometimes, like we even bring it in the family room and then we play like multiplayer games where someone's sitting down on the floor and on the games case and someone's on the TV, and yeah, it's so light. So yeah, highly recommend this, especially at $230. You can't go wrong. Come on.
And if you're looking for the deal, I think it's on Dell right now. But as I said, who knows how long it's going to last, if it's going to be there still. So grab it while it's hot.
All right, next story, and Shadow's not here, so I'll jump in. Switch 2 launching this year with an 8-inch LCD screen. So, yeah, I'm not super interested in this, but we're probably going to pick up a couple of these, like, just because you have to. Like, I'll get 2 of these. I don't have any interest. I don't want a Switch. I don't want to switch with an 8-inch LCD. But even if you don't want something, you need two of them, right?
No, you don't. No,
No, you
Derek,
do.
I'm going to intervene here. You don't need to buy this. You don't.
But you do.
Yeah, just tape your other two together and pretend it's 8 inches.
No. This is a necessity in the Nolan house. So we'll be buying two of these, and then we'll never use them. And it's just the cost of doing business. Yep. So
I don't want to see your tax return and your write-offs.
So we'll pick up two of these and we'll never use them, and it'll be a thing. But I'm sure Selden will pick one up and actually use it. Probably Shadow will too.
I will definitely use it, and my son will too. I'll probably get him one for Christmas, and I'll get one, and yeah.
Oh, look at you! You'll be in the 2-Switch club. Yeah,
I will. I'll give the old one to my daughter, which I just resold her and everything.
So
and
mean.
What was the original Switch? Was what, like 6 inches, a little over 6 inches?
I think it's like 5.5. Pretty small.
So either way, it's a significant increase in screen size. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
8 inches is big. I mean,
That's
I
what
never
she
used
says.
this.
Yeah.
I never used the screen handheld much, so it doesn't really matter. I don't use the 8 inches handheld
Yeah.
too often.
This is getting so bad.
Oh, we're like a
But
bunch
yes.
of junior high kids.
It's
right now.
all the that's what Tiff tells me. Like, I make a joke upstairs and she's like, "What are you, like 6?" And I'm like, "No, it's awesome. That was a good joke." And she's like, No, it wasn't. No, not at all. But yes, yeah. So yeah, we'll give this thing our full 8 inches and see what happens. And
It really comes down to what games they're going to bring out for it. Like, is there going to be anything that's going to drive me to buy another Switch if my current Switch is working? So, I mean, 8 inches is nice, but it would be nice to have, not a need to have. So,
No, speak for yourself.
I can work with my 6 inches.
Speak for yourself.
wow, we have really degraded here so far.
I think that, but all jokes aside, I think that they'll probably launch. I'm thinking they'll launch with the new Mario, and the Mario will be like, yeah. I mean, it will still work. I think it'll still work on the old Switch, though. I think it'll just have extras, or it'll look nicer. Metroid Prime 4 might be a Switch 2
that
exclusive.
could be. Yes, yeah.
It's possible, but then I go, well, are they gonna want to alienate people? In the past, they have not been good about backwards compatibility, except for the Wii and the Wii U, I think.
That's the
But everything
only
else,
time they have ever been good about
or
it. Yes.
I'm sorry, I think GameCube worked on the Wii, but not all of them or something.
Not
so.
all of them. No, it was
And
only
you
like
and only
a
the first
few.
Wii's had
Yes,
the
yeah.
plugs.
Yeah,
So
yep. And you plug in the controllers in.
yeah.
Yep.
But I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Now that I feel like they will probably keep the same type of form factor, they will probably use the same type of carts, bigger ones maybe, but I feel like they'll still use the Switch 1 games as well, because they can. In the past, I think it's just because they decided to just change the entire form factor.
But they could sell you the same game again if they don't leave the same form factor.
They could, but I think
would
it's goodwill
certainly
though.
buy it.
I will say that even on the Switch though, I've gone pretty much digital only. So I've hardly bought a cart for the Switch. I buy everything off the digital store. So if it's digital store, you really don't have to worry about back
But
and
then
that.
the digital store goes away. Like we've seen that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't see them introducing a new digital store though, a digital store 2.0 for a Switch.
Well, when the digital store's gone away, though, you've still been able to re-download stuff you've already purchased. It's just you can't buy any new things.
No,
but
that's true.
it's all the same thing now that they've finally consolidated everything. They're not doing a 3DS anymore. It's all just one system. It's one online system. So I think that now that they have Switch Online and all that, I think they're pretty. They're just kind of making it all the same thing. I don't know, but I don't know what
you don't think they're
gonna
updating
do.
the languages, the programming languages behind for the games and stuff, right? They most likely still use the same whatever they're using right now.
Yeah, I think they'll use the same stuff, just be able to use whatever new graphics chip that they're putting in the new one,
Yeah.
making it look nicer. So
we'll see. But
I don't know.
yeah, we'll buy 2 of these.
We'll buy 2 of them
Mm.
for sure. Then I can finally actually play him on Switch at the same time in other rooms, which I could not
Nice.
do right now because we have the one. Yeah,
All right.
good Christmas present.
I'll wait for your
Next.
reviews before I purchase that. How's that?
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah,
Good call. Good call. Next story.
not Derek's. See, Riot and Microsoft layoffs are the same, but different. Okay.
This sounds like a story you didn't read before you picked it.
League of Legends maker accountability falls on people not at fault, while Microsoft celebrates Activision Blizzard acquisition by disposing of devs. I mean, this article is saying that kind of the I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think about this? I'm sorry. I'm just reading. I apologize.
That's okay. It's fine. Yeah, they are different. Like, I think that the Riot layoffs are because Riot is an overrated brand that blows, and Microsoft's layoffs were having to do with redundancy and other stuff. But yeah, League isn't cool. League was never cool. There was never a time that I was like, hey, I want a game where I go top, mid, or bottom, and then just rinse and repeat the exact same fucking thing over and over and over. League was never my game. It wasn't. And
You didn't like Stratego, did you, as a kid, did you?
No, and I tried the DC, like, fake ripoff of League. Tiff and I tried that, like, probably 7, 8, 9 years ago, and it wasn't good either. And like, I know my son Evan loves League. He puts like hundreds and hundreds of hours into League every year. But yeah, it's just not my thing. I think it blows. I didn't like the Netflix show. I don't like any of the spin-off games. I don't like anything about League. I don't like that League is a thing.
Do you say that to his face?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I tell him. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
I'm not that kind of dad. Like when they were super little, I was like, yeah, kick your ass at Mario Kart. Bring it. And then the
You
first
suck.
exactly, yes. And the first time he ever beat me at Mario Kart, he's like, "Shoo!" And I was like, "You damn right you did.
You actually
You
did.
deserved it. I didn't phone it in. I didn't pretend with you. I didn't do any of this shit. You kicked my ass." And that's kind of the, be it as you will, that's the parenting style I chose. So yes, yeah.
Oh, my son wants to play Halo with me, and then he'll say, "Let's do a 1v1," and I say, "No, I will murder you every time, and I'm not going to hold back." So yeah, I kind of have the same thing.
When Tiff and I were dating, it so she had Dylan, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm awesome at Lego Star Wars 1-on-1. I beat mom every time, this, that, and the other thing." And I was like, "Okay, let's go." And then I kicked the shit out of him like in like 15 seconds. And he was like, "What?" And then I was like, "Oh, let's do one more."
In your face.
Yeah, but she had been letting him win for so long that like it was the opposite of my approach. My approach was the earn it and own it thing, and her approach was the just let him win. And then he didn't even know how to handle it. Like he broke. It was insane.
Oh,
and I felt
just
so
laughing at him.
bad because I had no idea that he had just been coddled. Yeah. So yeah.
League of Legends, yeah.
Yeah, so League.
They're different than Microsoft.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, League as a whole, I don't want to make it sound bad, but they're a subculture that it's within their own universe that it's huge. It is. And like there's a bunch of people that follow it. I'm not gonna pick on them for that. I mean, it's just not my game style.
They literally had a quarter of the PAX East floor footprint for years and years and years. Yeah, yeah.
But I mean,
they're big.
the
Yes.
layoffs are happening. It's not just the video game industry. Layoffs are happening all across the board, and yeah, you could say they're all same but different. But it's kind of a shitty written article in my opinion.
Well, I mean, compared to in the past, the 80s, 90s, when companies put out a game, either sold or it didn't, and maybe that company just went away after that, or they made a couple other games and then they went away. Now it's like games as services or games where the people play them competitively. They stick around longer, but there's fewer games, and then when they die, people get so upset. It's like, well, but this game's been around for years and years.
We played this for too long already.
Like you had a lot of time with this game. Like, play another game. I don't know.
Yeah,
are you a gamer or are you just play this?
Yeah, the game developer like Acclaim back in the day. That used to be one of my favorite, like Turok games.
Yeah,
one of my favorite. But like, I couldn't imagine still playing them now. I'm like, thank God they went away. Now it left them in a good state of mind in my head.
Yeah.
It'd probably be shit now if they were still making games.
Akari Warriors and yeah.
Well, they did all the NBA jams too, I think. Acclaim.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Good stuff. Anyway.
All right. Last story. Is this me?
That's you.
No. Final Fantasy 14 live action TV show is dead. Yep.
Are you just reading this now?
No, I put this on the fucking
You put
outline.
this on here. I know.
Yeah.
Brian screwed us all up when he left for a while. We had to switch the order of stories.
You're not supposed to say.
Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't want to see a Final Fantasy 14 show anyway, so I'm glad it's dead. Yeah.
As we said, most video game adaptations end up being failures anyways, or don't live up to the hype that we want them to be. Very few, I think, actually get to the point where they're actually pretty good.
Yeah, like with the exception of like the Halo Paramount show, that was fucking
Still gotta
awesome.
watch that. Yeah.
Yeah, you sure.
Advent Children was okay. The Final Fantasy one based on 7, but can't think of many others though.
Yeah, Final Fantasy is not really a good story at all.
Well, it's just
it's got a
so
huge
long.
universe. And
It does.
It's got a lot of ability, but it's just
you can't fit it all into one movie unless it's I'm sorry, this is a TV series. So, but it's an MMO, right? So how are you gonna have a TV series based on the MMO? It just
no one knows.
Go on forever.
Yeah,
it's live action, so like you're talking those costumes and all that through
that's like
production.
Lord of the
big
Rings.
giant ass sword.
Yeah, with all the special effects. I'm like, it's
well, it's not. It's not Cloud. It's 14.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But
Oh,
yes,
well, look at you. Showing your inner nerd.
Well,
yes.
I
Yeah.
know Final Fantasies.
Oh, look at this guy. Final Fantasy nerd. Nerd alert. Nerd alert. Yeah,
I'm
I don't
excited
know
for the,
shit
part
about
2
Final
coming
Fantasy.
out.
No, I don't
Okay.
know anything about Final Fantasy. I just know it's all about a bunch of nerds. So, yeah.
It's all about a bunch of nerds. Yes, the story is about a bunch of nerds who
They
go on a
nerd
quest.
out and they have swords and race cars. That's all I
Yes.
know. Yes, yeah.
And one of them dies.
I didn't even know that.
oh,
Spoilers!
Oh god.
Ah!
See? All right. Sultan and I have this under control. Shadow's the nerd of the group. All right. All right. Yeah, exactly. So if any of stories or questions, give us a call 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@toolplay.com or comment on this episode's thread, the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors. If we had them, we pimp them, but we don't, so we won't. So we'll just carry right on into our additional content. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool Player, twitter.com/Tool to Play. Everything podcast related, twitter.com/still_game. Facebook the fuck out of us, facebook.com/Tool to Play. We also have a YouTube channel. That is youtube.com/Tool to Play. That is where you can find every bit of archived content from Tool to Play. Embarrassing or not, created in Massachusetts or created in New York, like no matter how embarrassed you are about the content, it exists. So definitely go there, youtube.com/Tool to Play, and subscribe, and dig into our deep, deep, deep archive of content. And like for you Martin Scorsese fans, sometimes shit's shot from up here, sometimes shit's shot from down here. Like you just never know. So
Got some Dutch angles
next,
and shit.
I think next vidcast I'm bringing back that camera angle for the vidcast.
all right, so
under desk cam is coming, boys.
that would be
thumb shot.
that would be phenomenal. Like as terrible as it would look on our screen, it would be retro cool.
Some dude's in like, what the fuck is this?
Like, why is it shooting up that angle? Please rate and review the podcast on iTunes. We need some 5-star reviews. Go there, drop a 5-star. If you want to write something nice, hey, Selden's head looks super polished. Shadow's hair looks super fuzzy. D Smooth, he's got cool shirts. I don't know.
I'm saving that for the after show. My comments on that shirt.
Oh, you don't like my shirt?
No, I thought you were on the cruise already. That's all.
Oh, no. See, this is...
Whoa.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yes. So,
for those of you who listen to the audio, you
just missed the whole shirt thing. But yeah, it's pretty cool. We have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/still_got_game. That's twitch.tv/still_got_game. We need some iTunes reviews. So if you have a few seconds, like I said, give us a nice review. And if you want to go something extra, like just pimp it up. Yeah. Shadow is saying 5 stars, and he's saying Shadow is the savior of the show. No, he was trying to mouth it to me, and I had trouble following it, but I think that's what he's trying to say.
Here.
Yeah. So we also have a Discord channel. That's discord.me/stillgotgame. That's discord.me/stillgotgame. That's where Selden is 24/7, 365. He doesn't even sleep. That's where Shadow is 24/18, 365. He does sleep, but he goes there. That's where I am like 111. It's where Tiff is like.
It's where Derek sometimes responds to his own hosts occasionally.
Occasionally.
Like a days later.
Like these guys I don't even like respond to. They're like, is there a show? And I wait like 3 days to respond to them because I don't even give a shit. Like it's
Don't say
totally
the quiet
abnormal.
parts out loud.
Yeah. But Tiff is there more than me, and she's not even on the show. So and Yant, no, Yant's still not.
I've never spoken to
Yant.
No.
So yeah, definitely go there. Discord.me/stillgotgame. So per person pimping. Selden, what do you got?
I got this college out in California that's doing shooter classes that was called
UC Berkeley?
Yeah, UC Berkeley,
We talked about this last week.
What?
They're offering a class at UC Berkeley. Don't you remember that story from last week?
No.
On how
Shadow,
to improve
how fucked up were you? We talked about this last week.
I mean, I did have one Moscow Mule.
That was enough. Yeah. So yeah, UC Berkeley has
So I was gone.
a shooter class. Yeah.
As a shooter class to improve your shooting game for credit. But no, honestly, don't do that. Don't do that ever. Yeah, you can find me on any of my socials. All my links are in my Linktree, /Selden007. You can find all that there. I have nothing else to pimp this week though. So how about you there, Shadow?
Same deal. I have my Linktree up, Brian with an I, S Emerick, EMERICK, and all my stuff's there. I would say just check out the children's charities I have. You can check out my Twitter if you want. I'm not really there too much, but you can check out what games I have up. I have my True Achievements up there too if you want to check that out and message me on there and become a friend, and so we can compete on achievements. But Yeah, so that's all I got.
Nice. Well, my shit is at linktree/Derek Nolan. That's linktr.ee/Derek Nolan. Also at UC Berkeley, like we're all out there. We're all doing this new competition at Berkeley and competing, and Shadow doesn't know, but it's a competition now. So now we all have this out there. Selden threw out the gauntlet. It wasn't me. I was just reminding you. So Selden's so aggressive.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm lost.
You trying to do the shooting?
Yes, yeah. I'm
Shooting
trying to pull it around that
You're
way.
trying to pretend and go all the way, bring it all the way back around.
Bring it all the way back
beginning.
around. But yeah, I'm trying to make Selden seem like the bad guy, but he's not.
Well.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely go there. Linktree/Derek Nolan. Follow us. Follow the show. All the show's links. And definitely join us each and every week. So I want to remind you, you can join us each and every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific at youtube.com/told2play, facebook.com/told2play, twitch.tv/still_got_game, x.com/told2play, and unlike last week, kick.com/stillgotgame. I made up a kick.com Tools to Play account last week, and that did not exist, but kick.com/stillgotgame does exist. So go there, follow us, and we'll do this all again next week. So on that, I want to wrap this 3rd January episode up according to Selden, but not according to Brian. Let's do this again in February.